Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to the Karate America Community live stream. I'm Mrs. Quirk. Thanks for joining us tonight on the stream. We have with us very special guest, Ms. Hanson. Ms. Hanson, welcome. And Mr. Knightsky. Mr. Knightsky, welcome. This is your first time being a guest on the live stream, isn't it, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I'm super excited.
Oh, we're excited to have you. I know, Ms. Hanson, you're an old veteran. You know, you've been on an episode before, so this is just old hat for you. But we're really excited to have both of you on tonight. We're going to be talking about all things graduation, transitions, transformation, what that looks like, and what happens with those things throughout our martial arts journey. So it should be a fun time tonight. Got a couple of announcements here from our Karate America team for all of our parents and students and KA team members, community members that are listening. So first and foremost, it is that season. Our summer camp spots are filling up fast. So register your camper. If you haven't already done so, you can go to the app. If you have any questions about camp, one of our team members at either Brookfield or Pewaukee or a worldwide team can answer questions for you. Our website for that is inspire-camp.com. And don't forget, we have our Brookfield location. We also have our Pewaukee location. So whichever location is going to work better, moms and dads, grandparents, for your work schedule, for your after work pickup schedule, make sure that you know that there's Brookfield or Pewaukee to register at. We got Underbelt graduation coming up this month. It is a graduation month, and that's why we're having this episode tonight. So Saturday, April 24th is our next Underbelt graduation, as well as our master's team star test. So the specific times and details are going to be announced soon, so keep your eyes and ears open for those. Our spring merch sale is coming up this week of April 25th. So that Monday is April 26th. That's when we're going to be live on the KA app with that early bird spring merch sale. That very first day of the sale is the 26th. We have some pretty cool designs that the KA team voted on and came up with this year. So I can't wait for everybody to see those. And our students, whether they're worldwide, virtual, Pewaukee, Brookfield, can wear KA approved t-shirts with their belts and uniform pants throughout the whole summer. So we're looking forward to that. Make sure, guys, thank you so much. We hit our goal at the end of March. Thanks, no small part, to Mr. Pieper, Ms. DeWade, who really pushed that. I know some of our team members were like texting family members to go on and subscribe. So we got to our 100 subscribers by March 31st. So yay! And I'd really love to see what we can do in April. So go to our YouTube channel. It's Karate America Community. And make sure down on the bottom you hit subscribe. We're down now to 60% of the people who watch our live stream aren't subscribed. So come on, guys, hit the subscribe button for us. And also like our videos. Give us a little thumbs up at the bottom. It really helps us out on YouTube. This is a really exciting announcement, and I'm sure Ms. Hanson is going to have something to say about this later on, but we are now doing birthday parties. So in-person birthday parties, pizza parties, get-together parties, and more. So if your kiddos are bouncing off the walls and want to have fun with their friends in a healthy, safe, social distance, wearing masks environment at Karate America with our instructors, please see your team at the front desk of your academy or call us or email us. We are scheduling these. And I think just because everybody's a little starved for personal interaction, they're going to book up really fast. So Ms. Hanson will have a little bit more to say about this later, but just know, moms and dads, grandparents, these also make really great gifts for a kid in your life who might not even be a Karate America student, but wants to come in and have just a really cool, awesome birthday party. So our staff can give you more details on how to set that up. We are really happy and proud to get our in-person parties started once again. Yes. We have our summer camp yard sign contest is on. Ms. Phillips has been posting on Facebook. I know Mr. Knightsky is going to have a couple words to say about this later, but for all of our families that want to support Camp Inspire, if you believe that Camp Inspire is an amazing place for kids and more kids in your neighborhood, your community should benefit from it this summer, stick a yard sign out front. Mr. Knightsky will let you know which Facebook page to post your picture to of your yard sign. And then I think you enter in for a raffle. There's some cool prizes you could win. So that's super, super awesome. And we're really excited about that. Last but not least, we have a really exciting program coming out in our worldwide virtual program next month. It is the Karate America Excellence Badge Program. And I'll be talking a little bit about that later on tonight. It's coming next month. Listen for announcements and emails all month about our Excellence Badge Program. We're really excited for that. And I think I'm going to put this up in writing here just so everybody can see the pages for the summer camp right, Mr. Neisky, the pages where people post their pictures are these. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's
There's
Brookfield.
already a post up for you to comment your picture.
What's that, sir?
There's a post already up on both of those Facebook pages for you to put a comment of your picture.
Okay, awesome. So I know there's been a little bit of confusion about where to post them. We got a lot of Facebook pages. Some of our parents are putting it on their own pages and then tagging us, which is great. But you want to make sure that that picture goes onto Brookfield's Best Summer Camp and After School or Pewaukee's Best Summer Camp and After School. Those are the Facebook pages to get your pictures posted to of your yard signs to be in our contest. All right. So, yep, we got a comment already. That's awesome. Birthday parties now. Yay, indeed. Just to start us off, and we're talking about transitions, right? So we are transitioning back into having in-person parties. Miss Hanson, can you tell families a little bit about, what the parties are like and how that works?
Yeah, our birthday parties are so much fun. It's a really cool chance for our students to get to show off everything that they've been learning to their friends. Because there's an idea of what karate is. There's Cobra Kai. There's all of the different shows and stuff that kids watch. So when they hear their friends do martial arts, they do karate, they think immediately like Cobra Kai or something like that. But they don't actually ever get to see their friends do their martial arts because they haven't come in yet or what have you. And so this is a really great way for our students to be leaders for their friends and get to flex that muscle and to show their friends what a cool community we have and have them try it out.
Yeah, and they're kind of like the superstar for the day. It's really awesome. Oh, yeah. It's all about them. Now, Mr. Neisky, when you were younger, did you ever have a birthday party at Karate America?
I didn't have one here, but I did come to a few, and they were awesome.
And Miss Hanson, I don't think you've ever had a birthday party, right, at Karate America?
I'm an adult, so I'm not allowed to. I would, though. I totally would.
So if you guys if anybody listening is interested, now is that just for current students, or how does that work, Miss Hanson?
It's for anybody. So for our current students, it is included in with tuition. So we might as well capitalize on it.
Right.
And then for people who aren't a part of our program, if you are interested in our program and want to sign up for our program, then it becomes part of the tuition. But if not, it's like booking a birthday party anywhere else. We would set it up. We take care of the location, the entertainment. Of course, if you'd like, you can always set one up with us. You can reach out through our website or give us a call and we can set that up.
Yeah, and we also do virtual birthday parties as well. So our worldwide team has done a few of those, and I've heard they've been really successful and a lot of fun. Yeah. So for our families that are more comfortable with a virtual experience, Mr. Pieper is just chomping at the bit to do birthday parties, pizza parties, get-togethers, any kind of parties for kiddos that live out of state, out of our area, or just feel more comfortable during a virtual party. We've had some really, really successful virtual parties as well. So if you're a worldwide family, fear not. We have birthday party options for you guys too. So make sure you ask Ms. DeWade and Mr. Pieper about birthday parties for your worldwide virtual students. And it looks like we have some specific questions about birthday party limits as far as people, probably like a student count, Ms. Hanson, and you might even too want to follow up afterwards if you guys have specific questions and we don't get time for them. I'm sure Ms. Hanson will be more than happy to follow up with you afterwards if there's anything that we can't answer for you on the live stream.
Definitely, we can set something up for Owen for sure, Mr. Conway. That would be a lot of
fun. Yeah, absolutely. So okay, so let's get into our episode tonight. So we're talking about graduations, transitions, transformations. And I guess when I said that, I don't know if you guys were like, what? But to me, it makes sense, right? Because I think that such a part of our journey in the martial arts is right from day one, we transition from street clothes into a white uniform, and then we earn a white belt, and then we earn those belt colors. Yeah. And we earn different uniform colors. We make a commitment to blue uniform. Hopefully, master's team, you guys earn your black belts, and you get your red uniforms and your instructor uniforms and beyond. So tell me about, what are the different transitions? I know there are graduations. How are our graduations structured? How many months are they, and why are they structured throughout the calendar year the way that they are?
Yeah, I can take this one. So the way that graduation works is it's every 3 months. And that way we can work on a different set of curriculum every 3 months. So you'll hear us talk about the rotation. So there's 4 rotations in the year. Now, our graduations generally fall in January, April, July, and October.
Okay.
And at that time, we celebrate. So our graduations aren't, I read off a name, a kid comes up, they get their belt, they walk off. No, this is a celebration. We get to show off our skills. We get to honor all the hard work that our students are putting in. Mm-hmm. So that's really what our graduations are every quarter, like that.
Yeah. And so if anybody is watching or listening and you or your student or loved one is going to be graduating or earning their next star this coming on the 24th in April, go ahead and leave us a heart if you can find it, the color of the belt that they are going to be testing to. Yeah. Right. So if they're currently gold belt, you're going to be looking for an orange heart, etc. So go ahead and post up. I would love to see, I know Mr. Neitsky and Ms. Hansen would love to see who we got on the stream tonight. Go ahead and post your different colored hearts for what either you or your loved one in your household or your family is going to be testing to or graduating to in April. But testing to brings me to a good point. And Mr. Neitsky, maybe you can speak to this a little bit. Ms. Hansen, you brought up a really good point. Our graduations are celebrations. However, we don't give belts away, right? Students actually have to earn belts, but they earn it along the way during class, right? And they can, Mr. Neitsky, can you speak to the stripes and what those stripes on belts actually, mean along the way for a student when the instructor awards stripes?
Yeah, so for young achievers and up, they earn 2 stripes. They earn a black stripe and a red stripe. So the black stripe is about halfway through the rotation. It's a check-in. Are things going well in class? Are we on track to earn that next belt? And then that red stripe is a little bit closer to graduation. So that's another check-in. Are things going going well at home, school, in class? Do they know what they need to know to earn that next belt? Are they doing the things that they need to at home, at school?
Right.
So the check-in all across the board.
Yeah, and Ms. Hansen, I'm sure you deal with this a lot, but we do have the students have to, like Mr. Neitsky said, I mean, obviously we always say we're not about kicking and punching, we're way more than fun, fitness, and self-defense. So speak a little bit about how important that, how people are students and how they're behaving at home and at school plays into whether or not they earn their next belt.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. The way that our application system works is that check-in. We get to see our students minimum a half hour a week, maximum an hour and 45 minutes. If they're not in our after school program, we get to see them much more. I like that. But when we only get to see them for such a short amount of time, it's not the full picture of how their behavior is. They could be a rock star in their class here at Karate America, but if at home it takes 5, 6, 7 times for them to be told what to do, or at school, they're not waiting to raise their hands and they're doing side talk while the teacher's trying to talk. Those are things that let us know that we've got to help support, because at the end of the day, the punching and kicking, that could be fantastic and beautiful. But if we're not growing and nurturing, successful adults as they're growing through this journey, then the martial arts doesn't matter all that much. It does. That's where we fall in, but we're a mentoring program. So if we're not seeing those behavioral changes, our mentoring program isn't really working.
Yeah, like Mr. Quirk says, the karate is free. Parents aren't paying for karate. They're paying for everything else via the vehicle of martial arts. So absolutely. Right. So Mr. Neitsky, can you tell us about when you were a student? How old were you when you started karate, Mr. Neitsky?
I was 10 years old when I started.
Okay. So when you were a younger student and you were going through your graduations, what did you feel like getting ready for graduation? Was it intimidating? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What did you feel like around graduations?
Yeah, so thinking back, there were some graduations that were very intimidating.
Really?
Some of the first few. I mean, I didn't know what was going on, but they ended up being awesome. I got to show off what I learned. I got to do karate with friends I don't see in class all the time.
That's a good point.
In some different classes, and just a chance to like I said, show off. And earn a shiny new belt was also a big hit when I was young. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have all your belts displayed at home anywhere, or do you have them like carefully packed away? Or
I do. I have a belt display up in my bedroom.
we got to see a picture of that sometime.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I would love to see that. What about you, Miss Hanson? Do you have your belts displayed somewhere, or are they like carefully tucked away? Or
I don't have mine displayed. So my belts I earned as an adult, so they have a different level of significance for me. And they're all nicely rolled up. They're tucked away in a safe place. I know exactly where they all are. But I don't have a display.
yeah. Okay, you can maybe put that on your Christmas list this year or something,
yes.
or birthday list or something. Anybody listening, get Miss Hanson a belt display for a birthday or Christmas. if Mom and Dad Hanson are listening, or anybody else.
Right.
So what is
Your parents should be watching.
Right, they better be. Is there any transition? So not just graduations, right? But graduations very often is also a time for transitions. So little ninjas go to young achievers get into kids classes, intermediates go to advanced, things like that. Sometimes some of our higher belts are ready for candidate classes. Can you guys talk about what that feels like? Because you've both experienced it. Transitioning into a new level, is it just all fun, or is there some intimidation factor getting into those new classes? What is that like? And I think also the second thing I'd love to hear is if you have to transition instructors, especially for you, Mr. Nicey, because you were a kid when you did karate, and that sometimes that's a big deal for people, right? Is to go from one instructor that they know to another one. So talk about those transitions and what were those like?
Yeah, for me, those transitions were very exciting, and also a little bit of a reality check, right? I was the big fish in the pond, right? And now I'm moving up, and I am no longer the highest belt rank. And I have so much more to learn. But also it's exciting because I get to learn all these awesome new things now that I didn't even know existed 3 months ago when I was a gold belt or whatever it was.
Yeah. So how was it for you transitioning to new instructors? Because I know that's hard for some people. Did you like it? Was it ever difficult? What's that like? How'd you get through it?
Yeah. I can think of a few transitions that were they were super difficult for me. I got so attached to one instructor, especially the ones that like tied on the white belt, or the ones that those big milestone belts. And it was rough for me at first. Until I got to know that new instructor. I mean, each instructor, we have just slightly different things that we do that can be very hard to catch on to if I'm not used to them. Once I got the hang of it, I got to know them a little bit more. Things were great. I had a blast. But until I find out, I get to know them, it can be rough.
Yeah. Well, and I like that, Pete, because that's part of what's built into our curriculum actually on purpose. So we not only have rotating curriculum when it comes to actual karate skills and weapons and forms and things that students are learning, but life is about change, right? So the only thing that stays constant is change. And I know that pretty much every martial artist that I've ever talked to has said they are the well-rounded martial arts practitioner that they are because they had different instructors throughout their journey rather than staying with just one or two. I know that, when I was lucky enough to see some of the large Karate America organization black belt shows out in the Madison area, this was years and years ago, and each group would come up from a different academy and do their show. I could tell you without telling me what town they were from, who their chief instructor was, because they kicked like their instructor. They just move like their instructor. Like, it's really weird. I don't know if you guys have ever tracked this, but I can look at a student and I can tell who their instructor is because they literally have, it's almost creepy, but like to a person, this is true. And that's great. And, instructor is just one person, right? So having that kind of well-rounded, getting that lens from different people's, the way different people's body moves, what different people are focusing on, I think that's really, really helpful in the life of a martial artist. What do you think about that, Ms. Hanson?
Oh, that's definitely true. I think that there was one point in my journey, I think I was testing for one of my belts, and Mr. Mealy looked at me and he goes, "Yeah, you were definitely trained by your brother because you guys kick the exact same." And so
Well,
I
you
mean,
also probably have some common genes, I'm thinking too, that maybe
that might be part of it
make
too.
things, yeah. Got two things going on there, maybe.
Right, exactly. But the flip side to it too is when we have the different instructors, we not only learn differently, but we learn to, you know, work with people maybe we don't like as much. You know, I've experienced it so many times watching our students come through that their first instructor is always their favorite. And so when it comes time to a transition and maybe that time with that instructor doesn't work for their schedule, there's a little bit of reluctancy. There's like, they don't teach the way that like Mr. Pieper teaches, so I don't really like them, or they don't have that same energy. It's a different energy or anything like that. But that is a good thing. Because through high school, through college, we're going to have people that we're working with that aren't the same energy, that aren't the people we like, but that doesn't mean that we change our self-discipline, our habits, because, you know, just because I don't like someone doesn't mean I don't do my job. Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, great point, Mrs. Jerry. You can learn new things and little tricks from each new instructor. So it's sort of like building up the arsenal of each student, like getting more and more energized, more power from the different instructors. And really, like, I love the saying, everyone's the guru if I know how to listen. So I know that's kind of a big, like, for maybe our younger students, but the point is, it's like, hey, you know, I can either complain about this and push back against change, or I can embrace change, which is one of our values. We respect tradition where we've been, and we embrace change where we're going and what's new. So the choice, it's always a choice there to embrace that change and grow from it. Speaking of purpose and values, oh my goodness, we have Mr. Rudy Mick in our stream tonight. Hey, Mr. Mick, how's it going? He says, thanks for sharing some of it feels like to be in this KA community. And he's got a question. Okay, he's going to stump you guys. You thought you're going to have it easy tonight. Mr. Mick's putting you to work. Yes. If different instructors are key to growth, how do the different values of Karate America show up for you as students and instructors?
Oh, Mr. Mick, we love it. We love the challenge.
Taking it to a whole nother level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys? I mean, for you, how do the values show up, and as you grow and transition, how do those values show up as KA team members?
Yeah. So, in my experience, it's living those values for our students when those times come up. So, you know, we guide positively and celebrate progress. I mean, I wouldn't say a single one of our instructors is worse than the other. I absolutely would not say that. We each get taught, you know, through our legacy system. So they're learning the same purpose and values and teaching it. It's just their own little style with it. So making sure that when we do come across those roadblocks, that we're hyping up our fellow teammates and making sure that their praises are sung to our students when that change comes up. And, you know, teaching the kids in this moment how to use purpose and values in this process, because not only are we the ones that have to exhibit it, but this is a really good learning time for them to your point, embrace the change. Yep.
Yeah. And I know, and I'd love to hear your take on this too, Mr. Neitzke. Something that I'm sitting with is, you know, there's another saying, I forget what the author or the leadership guru person is that said this, but if I want to see what kind of a leader somebody is, look to see how they deal with change, how they deal with adversity and change. Because when things are smooth and when things are as they have always been, it's fairly easy to show up as a leader, right? Because I'm probably in my comfort zone. And I probably know all the answers, and I'm probably, to your point earlier, I'm surrounded by people that I know, and maybe I'm a big fish in a little pond. And you know, and change comes and adversity comes. Okay, now how do I behave the values that I espouse, right? How do I actually put these in as trackable behaviors? And for you guys, you two know probably better than me. I mean, as leaders in the field with students, they're watching you to see how you're handling adversity and change. So Mr. Neitzke, anything that you wanted to add about living values as a KA team member and showing that through change?
Yeah, definitely. You had mentioned living the values, how I react to something is how the kids are going to react. When things got a little questionable at the beginning of last year, I could definitely see how the teams interactions with things, how that started to affect the kids, or in the middle of camp when we had to start wearing masks. How the team talked about it is how the kids felt about it, right?
Yep.
Being that leader, setting that example for the kids, embracing that change, respecting that tradition,
Yeah.
goes a long way.
And I would think too that what you're talking about too, Mr. Neitzke, really speaks to purpose.
Yeah.
So we inspire people to believe in themselves, and sometimes that's not doing all the fun stuff, right? It's fun to, it's easy to rah-rah and inspire somebody when everything's great and fun and woohoo, rainbows and kittens. And then the rubber meets the road and the hard times hit. How do we inspire people to believe in themselves when things are difficult and challenging? And I think that's really when purpose, it's sort of like in the storm, we hold on to purpose, and it really, at least for me, it really anchors our behaviors, and it becomes about way more than me and what's comfortable for me in the moment. You know, it's not about me, it's all about me. So what do you, are there, as KA team members, you've both dealt with a lot of parents, a lot of students over the years. So around graduation time and this transition time, because change is exciting and change is a little scary and nerve-wracking, right? Both. So is there anything that you see show up for students and parents that you would like to address, like common themes, common misunderstandings, common fears that maybe you can address and assuage, anything like that?
Yeah, I think one of the common fears that I come across is the transition from young achievers or basic into intermediate. At this point, they're moving into the next level, and that next level includes sparring, which at the end of the day, it ends up being one of the favorite things. But at first glance, without knowing much about it, the stories we create about what sparring is a little scary. And sometimes they'll see an intermediate class ending for their sparring lesson, and they see people who look like stormtroopers punching and kicking each other, or that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it might look like, right? Yeah,
like what it looks like, or it may look like. But it's usually that first week when they're coming in with their gear. I go, "Are you excited?" And I get mixed bag of reactions. Some kids are really pumped about it, because this is the moment they've been waiting for. Yep. And then there's other kids who are like, I'm not quite sure. And so at that time, it's like, hey, you know what? This is a next level for you. And here's how our values live in this moment. One of the ones I can point to right away is we are safe. Our team would not put any of our students into a situation in their classes that we didn't have a complete handle on and know that they were going to be safe. So that's where I start with, is just making sure that they understand that we've got them and they'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great point. So when these transitions come, whether it's, oh gosh, now I or my child is going to be sparring, or oh gosh, you know, my little ninja is going to go out with the big kids and young achievers, or oh gosh, is my kid ready for candidate class? What if? I think that, I don't know about if you all have experienced this, but I think a really powerful thing to experience is building that trust and our purpose, our values, how we conduct ourselves as Karate America team members every day, all the time, no drama. You know, every time we have interaction with those families over the years, when it comes to a transition or transformation time, we have to have earned that trust, right? For them to be like, okay, it doesn't 100% make sense, but I trust you, Mr. Neitzke. I trust you, Ms. Hansen, or I trust you, Karate America. And like, here's my kid going into Young Achievers. Here's my kid putting on the Stormtrooper gear to go spar, whatever. So that to me really speaks about building the trust through purpose, through values, you know, walking our talk every day. That these are one of the points, the pressure points, like which way is this going to go? And for us, overwhelmingly, to your credit as team members, it goes to the positive, because you have built that trust with parents and families when these tough transitions come. Mr. Quirk is saying, for me, graduation is where purpose really shines. The reward comes only after hard work. The cycle of hard work followed by reward builds confidence. The confidence cycle teaches us to believe in ourselves. #purpose. Look at Mr. Quirk throwing out the hashtags tonight. Ooh, #purpose. If you guys are feeling it tonight in the live stream, throw up a #purpose in the comments. I love that. I love #purpose. So what do you think, Mr. Neitzke, you are our after school and summer camp director for Brookfield, our largest location, our largest after school and summer camp program. So I'm interested to hear from your standpoint, our after school kids and our summer camp kids, do you feel like they're better equipped to deal with the transitions that come in their martial arts journey because they spend more time and are more immersed, in our karate America culture? Or is it more difficult for them because they do get into kind of that groove and that like culture within the culture of their after school and summer camp groups? What's been your experience?
Yes. Yes. I've seen the transition into Canada class be very difficult. They're used to the after school instructors, Mr. Bray, myself, teaching their class, and now Mr. Hansen is running their class, call and go. That transition can be very, very difficult. But at the same time, like Ms. Hansen had said earlier, they're with us for so much longer. They are living that purpose and values with us. So there are transitions that are a lot easier. They're a little bit more set up in some places to deal with that change. They're used to it.
Yeah. Well, and they've had more immersion and purpose and values and the community, the MIC conscious communication tools from the team. So it's hard for me to envision a scenario that doesn't better prepare kids for that more time with all of that, right? What was that, Mr. Nitsky?
I had a 9-year-old come up to me yesterday and say, Mr. Nitsky, I have a moose. We need to talk about it.
Mr. Mick, did you hear that? We have a 9-year-old naming a moose with his instructor. How awesome is that?
It was fantastic. And we had a great conversation, and we came to a resolution.
That's fantastic. Did you celebrate that 9-year-old for naming the moose?
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Awesome. Love to hear that. There's hashtag purpose right there. Wow. So we are transitioning. Speaking of, well, actually, I wanted to ask you one, because both of you went to the Mr. Quirk and I got for you guys as a Christmas gift this year, kind of a virtual Christmas gift, some time with Mr. Roland Osborne, who is just a world-renowned martial artist, instructor. He's just a phenomenal instructor. He's so knowledgeable about martial arts, and he's an amazing, incredible human being as well. So he was here. He came out, I almost said, from California. He was over Zoom. I think it was in January, I want to say, and did some training with you guys. And one of the things that I heard staff kind of like in the ether saying that they were really, really impacted by was he talked about graduation as transformation. Did that resonate with either one of you? Or can you speak a little bit more? Because I was really intrigued to hear that. It's not it's graduation, but it's actually transformation. What was he saying about that?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with what Mr. Quirk had said in his comment, which was we get to see how they start, and Mr. Nitsky and I have seen first lessons. He's run them. I've been there for their first lessons, and we see them every time a little bit more, unlock a little bit more of their potential every time. And so we go from maybe, the timid little white belt that hid behind mom and dad's legs when they first came in to the leader of the group. And each graduation, it allows us to ask a little bit more because we're celebrating all the hard work. They get to feel really good about themselves because of all the hard work they have put in. And so we can tweak and nudge and help them unlock that potential that's within them. It's nothing that we give them. It's everything that's within themselves. It's just letting it come forward.
Yeah, they're uncovering what is always there, which I think is so powerful and special. That's really awesome. So speaking of transformation, okay, so Mr. Pieper, I don't think Mr. Pieper and Ms. DeWaite are on the stream, but I know they're going to be watching this episode later. So had to talk about this. I'm just going to take a pause here and talk about the Excellence Badge program that we have coming out for the worldwide families and students next month. We're pretty excited about it. So I'm unveiling here, drum roll, if anybody can make a drum roll. Thank you, Ms. Hansen. So drum roll here is our very first behavior badges. So they're basically magnets. Here we see that. Our first ones are focus, my eyes, my mind, my body, and down at the bottom it's our logo. It says K Worldwide Training. And the second one is self-discipline, no excuses. And these are magnets, yes. And so our worldwide students, our virtual students are earning these. So they're earning these for behaviors at home. They're earning these. Moms and dads and families and teachers are setting goals, behavior goals for them to reach and deciding what excellence looks like at home. in the area of focus, in the area of self-discipline, in the area of keeping my hands to myself, in the area of doing things the first time I'm asked, not the seventh time by mom and dad. And then these are being awarded if their behavior at home is matching their behavior in our virtual classes. Students are going to be able to earn these really cool magnets. And we are going to have these for a lot of for many different things coming out. These are our first two. So they're like these will be collector's items, no doubt, someday. So you're going to want to get your focus and your self-discipline. These are our very first excellence badges, but students can put them on the refrigerator. They can put them on magnetic boards that they get from Target or a craft store or something like that. But Mr. Pieper and Ms. DeWade have been putting a lot of work into this worldwide excellence badge program. So be looking for these. Make sure you're asking Mr. Pieper and Ms. DeWade, hey, how does my student earn their excellence badge and focus and self-discipline? I'm all about that. We have some really cool just documents around that that'll support parents and how to reward those behaviors at home. So there you go. There's the big announcement for the Worldwide Excellence Badge programs. And I've had like 3 adults ask me if they can earn them, like what they can do to earn them, and they want them for their refrigerator. So, if you guys are interested, you got to ask Mr. Pieper and Ms. DeWade. There's no special treatment for adults. Make sure you follow up
how do I get them?
with our worldwide team. Make sure you follow up with them and find out how you can earn your badges. So yeah. Hey, thanks, Mrs. Bray. It's good to have you on the stream. Love the new magnets. Me too. I'm really excited about them. So now not only am I going to have our safe space communication magnet, but we're going to start earning our behavior badges here in the Cork household. So Mrs. Jury says, Zach said graduation means the end of something versus transformation, meaning continuing the journey of growth. Wow, I really love that. Yeah, it's not an ending. It's just the evolving. When we talk about the caterpillar, growing into the butterfly, love that. Mr. Mick, purpose, best to KA, all you're doing and how you're doing it. Thank you so much, sir. Inaugural magnets. We got another hashtag. I hope somebody's like keeping track of these. We're getting some, thank you, Mrs. Pieper. We're getting some really, really brilliant ones tonight. So talking about what in both of you have trained, I mean, clearly your team members, but you're adults, but during your martial arts journey, was there one transition that stands out to you as being the most impactful? I mean, maybe it wasn't at a graduation, but was there one thing that changed in you specifically? It was a transformation that was the most impactful for you as a martial artist?
That's a good one. For me, I don't think that it was my graduations that were impactful for me. They were, don't get me wrong, but my experience of graduation is a lot having people walk in, see their belts, have their faces light up, and just get to see the pride on our students' faces. So, and again, I get to see them grow from little tykes to black belts, and it's becoming more and more impactful as I have been there for more and more students' first classes, and it gets emotional sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just so proud of them.
And it's like a privilege too, right? Like that's what I always felt like. It's such a privilege to be even just to watch on the sidelines and just be a little part of, because when a student transforms, a family transforms.
Yeah.
There might be one student out on the floor, but every single student has that story behind them of those conversations, the hours, the things that they've done at home for hours, if not months, years to get there. And it's really super moving to see at a graduation, or even if it isn't necessarily at a graduation, the first time that kid doesn't cry in class, or the first time, they go out on their own without running back and hiding behind mom's leg, to your point, anything like that. The first time that teenage student, snaps to attention with a loud yes, sir, rather than kind of hunching down and mumbling. All those transitions and transformations are just so emotional. And it's the whole family, really. It's a journey for the whole family. So that's really rewarding.
Yeah. One of them in particular, I just remembered it was, there was a boy where they came in because he didn't really quite fit into the team sports. He couldn't quite, find his little niche, and he found karate, and he ended up in our leadership program, which their parents didn't really expect when they came in, because he was the rambunctious type. He has a lot of energy and didn't really quite have the funnel for it. So, he got called up in one graduation, a year and a half or 2 years ago, to lead the leadership part. He didn't know he was doing it. and he didn't have any preparation, and he just did it. And I think he was like a blue belt at the time. And I caught their parents sitting on the bleachers, and I went up to them and I went, "He's doing fantastic." And they're like, "We didn't know this was happening." We're so proud of them. and he did so well. And they had said that he had just come from another sporting thing that he was doing. So he was tired and he just went with it. And it was just one of those moments where I was there for his very first day. I watched him take that energy and focus it into something more positive and into a more effective way. And
wow,
to see him grow from the talkative, rambunctious kid to a leader of, I think there were over 60 people on the floor that he was leading.
That's really amazing. So we have Ms. Kaniewski chiming in here on the badges. I was just going to ask about earning them. I would put the self-discipline badge in my office at work to inspire others. Nice, Ms. Kaniewski. I vote that you do that. And I'm sure knowing you will earn both focus and self-discipline right away, ma'am. So make sure you follow up with Mr. Pieper and Ms. DeWade on how you can get yours. That's a great idea. Yeah, if you don't have a refrigerator that'll hold magnets, maybe have a filing cabinet or something else magnetic. So Mrs. Jerry says, it's been awesome to grow in my own journey, but the growth as our family transitions through karate has been truly life-changing. Yeah, that's why we do it. That's why we do what we do. So we're heading into, talking about transitions, we're heading into summer. We're getting very much in summer camp mode. What's it like if you could give anybody a behind the scenes look at what happens and how the vibe and energy changes at Karate America as we get ready for summer and summer camp? What's that like? What's a window into Karate America summer camp mode that we're doing now? Mr. Nice Guy, I see a great big smile on your face, sir. As after summer camp director, I want to hear why you're smiling.
Where do I start? It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So like we had said earlier, with after school, we get to spend time with these kids. More time. Now we get to spend 8 hours with these kids. Some amazing things happen.
Yes.
There are 10-year-olds leading games of battle ball, safely leading games of battle ball, holding kids accountable, on top of all the other fun things we get to do, science, craft, field trips, time outside. But so many values and purpose show up in the day-to-day things that we do in camp. It's amazing. It's truly amazing what those kids do.
Well, and it's amazing what you guys as team members do with them. I mean, I've talked to, and I'm sure you've probably had more conversations like this than me, but people that have gone to other summer camp programs and they come to ours and they're like, this is next level. This just blows other camps away. And, I tell them it's because of the dedication and sense of purpose of our team. And, something like summer camp, I think a lot of times is looked at as like, okay, well, let's keep kids busy for, to your point, to 8 hours a day. Let's just kind of be, let's just keep them somewhere and keep them busy and burn off some energy for mom and dad. But our summer camp team, because it is our summer camp, it is Karate America, it is purpose and values. I think, and maybe you can talk a little bit more about this, Mr. Neitzke, but it's really about not just giving them the best summer ever by entertaining them. They are entertained and they do have fun, but leaving them better than we found them, right? And those communication skills and those life skills, I think, are huge. And I don't know that any other summer camp on purpose is designed to do that. Can you talk a little bit about how that shows up in summer camp, Mr. Neitzke, for our kids?
Yeah, definitely. So like you said, a lot of families just want, my kids need to be safe, right?
Yep.
And we are also teaching them communication skills on top of that, and purpose and values. So each week we spend about 40 minutes just talking about how to talk to people, how to get what I want, how to effectively talk. And another team member put it perfectly for me a couple years back. In high school, I had taken a foreign language. 4 years of foreign language. I had asked, can you have a conversation in that language? Nope. And the analogy was, a lot of these kids are kind of in that same boat, right? Especially the younger ones, the 5, 6, they're still trying to figure out how to talk. And we are able to coach them and guide them on how to more easily express their emotions, what they're feeling, to each other and to their families, to the team. Oh yeah, and we're also teaching them purpose and values with that.
Yeah.
Amazing people.
Yeah. I think too, one of the things that's really special about the environment, both in martial arts and after school and summer camp, is that both kids and adults, to be completely honest, are held. It's like so often I think that being held accountable for a behavior, for a choice means like being in trouble and being wrong and being bad and being somehow it's very, very negative. So I'm either doing exactly what I'm supposed to do and I'm loved and I'm included and yay, and I'm on the team, or I'm not, I'm bad. And I think what's really cool about what you're saying, Mr. Naitsky, is that people are guided to develop these more effective behaviors. But it's not just, everybody's not just a yes man or a yes woman or a yes person. It's like, but we're also holding people accountable of all ages, right? So this is a place where somebody can, I think, have that. I mean, a lot of people refer to it as like discipline, the respect and discipline, because usually we don't quite know the words to use about that martial arts culture. So people say being respectful and being disciplined, and it is that, but it's truly this accountability out of love rather than out of fear. And I think that that's a huge piece that kids really respond to. I mean, we talked a couple of episodes ago about how kids crave structure. And just give me the guidelines and tell me what to do and tell me what the rules are, and I'll do that, and show me that you care enough to hold me accountable. And I think kids really respond to that, and adults, but I think it really comes through with kids.
Yeah. And with our summer camp and after school programs, we get more time to work with them on it too. We do what we can in our 30-minute karate classes, but we're given a gift to be able to work with our students for so much longer. And so when we do come across, those moments of static where maybe some kids aren't getting along, instead of the traditional, like I talk to one, I talk to the other, punishments are doled out. No, we actually have them sit down. Let's talk to each other. You two talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I don't know how often that gets to be played out in a way that we can mediate and help kind of translate so that they can
and facilitate, right?
Yeah. And so they can find out, oh, my action, they're telling me what my actions are doing to them versus, oh, the adult said that they said that whatever.
Yeah.
Now they actually see the human that they're interacting with and can actually like talk about their issues in a place where they don't, I've seen a few of a handful of these play out just because, they're kids. And once we get to that place where they get to talk to each other, the high emotions aren't as prevalent. They're not up on the surface anymore. Now they're really getting to the root issue and the behaviors that are causing maybe the issues that they're having together. And then they work on it together. And like the conversation I saw happen was with 7-year-olds. Yeah. So
yeah. And those same mediation facilitation skills are so needed with like 47-year-olds and 37-year-olds and 57-year-olds, and we could all benefit from that, not just our campers. So I love that you guys are working with them at such a young age and solidifying some of those behaviors and making those choices. I mean, a grateful world thanks you, and parents and families for these young people that you're putting out into the community. It's really tremendous, and we need more of them. So I know both of you, Ms. Hanson and Mr. Naitsky, you are both at our Brookfield location, and our Brookfield location obviously runs a phenomenal summer camp. Our Pewaukee location also runs a phenomenal summer camp. And sometimes people, I don't want to say they forget about Pewaukee, but it's our smaller location, but it's right down Capitol Drive from Brookfield. And so, we do have families, and you probably know this better than me, Mr. Naitsky and Ms. Hanson, that for whatever reason, like I said in the beginning of the show, the Pewaukee actually works better for them just from sort of a transportation work schedule standpoint. And then we have families, in our Lake Country families, so Waukesha, Delafield, Oconomowoc, parts of Sussex, Pewaukee. So I know that I'll put you on the spot here, but can you name anything that makes Pewaukee a special summer camp program or a special academy or culture? I know some of you have filled in for classes out there, interacted with some Pewaukee families, had contact. What makes Pewaukee such a special place? Why should people give their summer camp a second thought if they haven't already?
Yeah, I think it has to do with the tight-knit community. So to your point, it is a little bit smaller, but the impact is there. And our Pewaukee location has probably stronger bonds for that reason. Not And so, you know, they really grow as a community in our summer camp program. I don't know. Sometimes we'll get them together between Brookfield and Pewaukee, and Pewaukee students are like, we miss Pewaukee. they miss that camaraderie with the connections that they've built. So I think that that's the most special piece of Pewaukee is
it does feel really just like tight knit, and not like in a cliquey way, like in this really warm, it's a great vibe out there. I know you've been out there for filling in for some classes over the months, Mr. Neiske. What's been your experience with the Pewaukee team and the Pewaukee community out there?
Yeah, like Miss Hanson said, tight knit. Each class, each kid knew each other's name. No drama. They all knew each other. And then even a few of them came over for spring break camp. And it's, oh, you're here too? Like, I didn't know you were going to be here. Just getting so excited to see each other. And it's not just with the kids, the parents as well. Just they knew each other. They knew each other. If you were friends outside of classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah, Mrs. Jury is saying, Mr. Miokovich is saying, hashtag Pewaukee. Yeah, hashtag KA Pewaukee, Summer Camp Pewaukee. So, you know, like I said, I know that they do have some spots to fill up out there for campers. They're looking for campers. They're looking for more people to bring into the family out there at the Pewaukee location. And I just think it's such a special place. I love our Brookfield team too, but Pewaukee's a really, really special place with an amazing team. Miss Phillips has some incredible things planned out there for the Pewaukee kids. So if anybody's watching or listening or knows somebody or works with somebody who would like to send their kid to camp at the Pewaukee location, send them Ms. Phillips and Mr. Kozlowski's way. Let us know. Go on the app, get signed up for summer camp out there at Pewaukee, and definitely hashtag Pewaukee.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, Ms. Phillips at the front desk, she is our director for our summer camp program. Yeah. So you might see her behind the desk, but behind the scenes, she's doing a lot more to get ready for the summer. Yeah. And she'll be happy to answer questions about camp.
She would love to talk to you about summer camp. So just mosey on up there to that beautiful little white semicircle counter and be like, hey, Miss Phillips, I'm wondering, tell me about summer camp at Pewaukee. And then you might want to pull up a chair and because she'll talk to you for a really long time about all the benefits of summer camp. So she's awesome. We love Miss Phillips.
We do.
We're glad she joined our team. And she's gonna do great things out at Pewaukee this summer. I just know it. So our final question for the night for you guys is, we're talking about change. We're talking about transitions, transformation. How has this? I'm really going to put you on the spot here, but speak freely. If not, you know, I can always like cut your feed, I guess. Just kidding. How has, as Karate America team members, how has our company changed over the years? How have we transitioned and changed? What's been your experience with change for us as a K-8 organization?
I think it has to do, like, some of the change has come from each of our team members growing. Mm-hmm. I know, and Mrs. Quirk, you'll remember this. My first year there, I wasn't as effective as an adult as I am now. And there are behaviors that have shifted and changed and grown since I became part of the team. And I'm not the only person that exists. And I think that the entire team has just committed to leveling up their performance every time that we go out there and do our jobs. Yeah. And I think that's I can't pinpoint a specific difference because it's just always in flux as we grow and learn. And I think that that's true for, I mean, I know my brother from, well, we grew up together. So.
Yeah, quite a few years.
Very few years.
You've seen some transitions with each other, I would say, probably.
Oh, definitely. And I can say that for both of us, the Karate America community is one of the best things that's happened to us because of the growth that we've gotten to experience. Like, it's a privilege for us to grow and learn the way that we have, because there isn't another place that fosters that, in my experience. There definitely aren't jobs that foster that growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our organization only grows as fast as we each grow as people and as individuals, and as fast as I can. You know, we have our meetings and we say, what's holding us back? And it's like, hold up the mirror, right? So it's all about me and my behaviors and my choices. And I think that we're able to say that to ourselves and each other out of love, not out of finger pointing and then saying, great, what needs to shift and grow? Because you're right, Ms. Hanson, we are, I think, also committed to personal development and just being more, and year after year after year, what was okay 2 years ago is not okay today, or it's not as acceptable. And it all comes back to, for our students and our families and our team, good enough is never good enough. So every month, every year, we literally are trying to push ourselves and grow because we want our students. I mean, how do we go out and tell our students and our families, make sure you're trying hard for that next belt and working on this, when we as team members and leaders aren't going back and doing our work to develop and be different leaders? I mean, we might not get belt colors for our leadership levels. Hey, there's an idea. I should think about that. But, even they're like invisible. It's like, how, what's my next goal and where am I going? I think that's really astute, Ms. Hanson. What about you, Mr. Neiske? What's been your experience with, how have we changed as a company to work for over the years, would you say?
Yeah, for me, growth, as well as the level of our conscious communication and how willing the team is just to like we say, get in the goo, kind of things out. And then how much we want feedback, like we crave feedback.
Yeah.
Even better.
Which is weird out in the world, we learn, right?
People tell me how I can do even better at this job. It's just amazing. I don't know anywhere else where people want to be told what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think it starts like you were talking about earlier with the kids and the campers. It's like, how can behaviors and communication skills be more effective? And oh, by the way, I'm going to be told that in a loving, supportive environment, not by people who are playing gotcha, right? And so I think that when we see that playing out at the team member, instructor to student level, we also, I mean, we have to walk our talk. We have to do that as team members and leaders for each other. So just like I was talking in the episode with Mr. Kozlowski and Mr. Holt, it's like the last names, it's not costumes that we put on and off like for the public, but then behind closed doors, we act however, and we call each other, like we actually really, I mean, you guys can attest to it. We call each other by our last names like all the time. We never use first names. That's not a gimmick. That's who we are. And so the accountability and the growth and the feedback, it's not just, we don't just stand up in front of students and say, you always got to be asking yourself, can you do better? I mean, we actually live that with each other, even when it's tough. And I know I've said to my team before, it's like, it's easy, just like we were talking about earlier with change, it's really easy to have a good relationship when we're all agreeing and everything's fun and it's easy. That's not really anything to brag about, right? And work in our company, it's relationships. It's not like relationships, it is relationships. So how will we show up for each other when things are tough, when we don't agree, when we're maybe giving or receiving some difficult, sweet feedback that's tough to swallow? I mean, right there, that's going to define who we are to each other, and then in turn, who we are to our students and our families. And I think, I'm so proud of you guys and the entire team for how you show up for families and students, because I see the behind the scenes work that you all put in that they don't even know about or see, so that you can be those leaders. Like, you didn't just hatch one day, like, instant superstar, rock star leaders. I mean, you've put a tremendous amount of work into your personal development, and you continue to do so every day and every week. It's really inspiring. So everybody listening, if you think that Ms. Hanson and Mr. Neiske are rock stars, make sure you give them some, they're both black belts, so make sure you give them some black hearts in the comments and let them know that all that personal development work is paying off for your kids and for you. So we are at the end of our hour. Somehow we reached the end of our hour again, having this conversation. For all of our listeners, Ms. Hanson, is there anything that you'd like to say before we hit the road for the night?
Yeah, I'm excited for this graduation to come up. Remember, it is April 24th. And again, it is a celebration. So even if you can't make it, this is a common thing too. If you can't make it to the graduation, that doesn't mean we don't still celebrate that progress. They are still earning their belts. So, so if you can make it, please do keep an eye out for that schedule coming up. Cause it's a fun time and we get to celebrate a lot.
It's a party.
Yes.
It's a party that celebrates hard work. That's the best party. What about you, Mr. Neiske? Anything to leave any of our students, parents, anybody watching, any final comments for the night from you?
Yeah, I think for me, just ask us questions. We have so much information we want to give you. We want to make those transitions as easy as possible for you guys. We're here for you. We're here to support you. So ask us the questions. We want to help you as possible.
Yeah, walking encyclopedias of knowledge and information. So, so don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out in person, on the phone, over email. Send us messages on social media. Our team is always standing by with an answer. And if we don't know the answer, if our team doesn't know the answer, they will figure it out and get back to you. Yes, yeah. So thank you everybody who joined us for our live stream tonight. I had a really good time. We had a great conversation. I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you everybody who comments. It means so much to see your comments. Thank you. It means so much when you subscribe to our channel, when you share our page, when you hit the like button, all those little interaction pieces. We read every one of them. We care about every single one of them, and it means a lot. So we are able to do this and keep putting these live streams on because you all are responding. So thank you for your support. Thanks for being here. Also, guys, just remember, if there's a topic that you would like us to cover on a live stream, please bring it on. Leave a comment about something that you would like to be discussed on an upcoming live stream. I read every single comment, and I would be happy to take your ideas and incorporate that into future episodes. So let's not just let this be one-sided. I want to hear from the community. What do you guys want to hear about? What do you guys want to talk about? Leave a comment below. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. when we'll have some very special guests. Some of you are going to be very excited about this. Our special guests next week are going to be two of our oldest veteran, not oldest in age, but our most veteran Karate America students. We're going to have Mr. Menenow and Mrs. Cobb are going to be, I know,
yes.
I'm excited. It's gonna
Oh my God, yes.
I know. I was able to like really bring in the talent for next week. So it's just, you know, I'm really blown away. We're going to have Mr. Menenow, Mrs. Cobb. It should be a hoot of an episode. So don't miss next Tuesday, the 13th at 8 p.m. Central. Yes. Right here on our private group page and on our YouTube channel. And until next week, if you want to feel amazing and awesome, go find somebody and inspire them to believe in themselves. At Karate America, our purpose is we inspire people to believe in themselves, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.